demon, what am I? It's time for me to choose my path. The power of my God hand, no evildoer will get past. Hand to hand or fist to fist, kick the nuts or twist your wrist. God power keeps my pimp hand strong, so trust me or you won't last very long. Dragon kick your ass into the Milky Way. Milky Way. Don't act like you don't like the Bulbasaur. Bulbasaur. My arm, my arm, my arm, my arm, my arm, my arm, the summon of the powers of the God hand. Lost a limb in a fight, but don't worry, babe, I'll be cool. The ultimate power of a god is now my secret tool. My defenses are impregnable. My style is impetuous. If it's too much, I'll grovel at your feet. I beg for mercy when I feel the heat. Jaw-dropping attacks from my roulette wheel. Apocalyptic beatdowns from the God hand. God hand. My arm, my arm, my arm, my arm, my arm, my arm, I summon up the powers of the God hand. Everybody wants a piece. Who's next? Don't be a fool. Hyperactive fighting style, so slick they will make you drool. The God hand helps me work out my stress. It's overpowering, I must confess. The only person who it doesn't work on is the girl who got me into this Olivia. Slicing through thugs with my shockwave. Shockwave! More beheading than a guillotine. Head slicer. Head slicer! My arm, my arm, my arm, my arm, my arm, my arm, I summon up the powers of the God hand!
Hello, everyone, and welcome. Your Immortal Afro Josh. You are watching Gaming for the Boys, featuring me, myself, the Immortal Afro, and my good co-host, H3 the Game Herb. How you doing, man?
I'm doing good, man. Glad to be back. It's been a minute.
Yeah, it's always a minute. It seems like. But yeah, folks, we've been working, a lot of stuff happening IRL, so got to prioritize that above this until this becomes my cash cow, if that's never going to be a thing. But we got a relatively chill stream today. Not a whole lot of information. A lot of stuff has happened in the past few months since we last streamed. But we're just hop back into it. I picked some differing topics to kind of go over. Some fun, some typical. But I want to have an overall good, positive outlook on gaming moving forward, as well as stuff I want to do on the channel to be a little bit more, focused on. And the big thing, let me shield a little. The big thing that I want to focus on just overall moving forward is positivity. Positivity in gaming, and not just like, only covering positive, news or whatever, but just have a positive outlook on the future of gaming, because this is one of the things I talked to my good friend Young Sykes about. He kind of really put it into perspective for me, because for a while I was just seeking out bad news. I'm like, look how bad everything is. All this bad news, gaming is dying, and blah blah blah.
There's a lot of bad news.
Yeah, and while there is a lot of bad news, I would argue that there is significantly more good news, way more than bad. Because over the past decade, I've done this to myself. I've kind of been training myself to be borderline apathetic to gaming. And you don't do that to something you love. And since there's been a whole lot of things happening, I've kind of learned to look for things that are beneficial to me in gaming. Games that treat you right, publishers that respect the gamer, the consumer, and they put actual effort into their projects. Because it's so easy to get caught up with for example, one of our topics we're going to talk about, but like I said, we can still talk about it. But I want the overall vibe, as the kids say, to be positive, because there's a lot of good stuff happening in gaming.
I like it. I love it.
Yeah, it's way more good stuff. Now we can point and laugh at the bad stuff, and that's kind of where the good. That's the positivity. That's where that comes from. Point and laugh at the idiots, and make fun of them at their expense, while we find and enjoy and promote things that we love in gaming. So that's what's going to be a priority.
I am for it. I am
Really
for that. I love hearing that.
Yeah. So
especially in this climate.
Yeah, because it's so easy to doom. And don't get me wrong, Dr. Doom's a cool character and all, but that don't mean I got to be that guy. Billy Donuts, healthier outlook. Yes, sir. Welcome to the stream. Glad to see you. You're always here, man. That's my boy, Billy Donuts. Also, Young Sykes, he's also here. Double casting today. Double? Oh. Maybe he probably thought you were going live too. Oh, no. Yo, who's this guy? Herbert Handy Jr.
Who is that guy? Must be really awesome, whoever that guy is. I know he's awesome. That's an awesome guy.
All right. So one thing I want to get by, we're almost done doing, with things IRL that kind of allow us to get back into the motion of streaming consistently. And one thing I should have been doing, but like I said, IRL stuff, me being lazy and so on and so forth. But I want to get back into my Immortal Afro gaming reviews. And one of the things that I realized pretty quickly after I made my video talking about doing reviews is how I don't want to do reviews for certain games, not just in general, but because I still have 3 scripts that I wrote for The Great Rebellion, Bomb Rush Cyberpunk, and one that I'm halfway finished with for Marvel Rivals. I just kind of started writing on that. But back when I made my video going over reviews, which is still something I want to do, I still want to follow that format. I realized that I was kind of falling into the same trap as a lot of other YouTubers where I was like, I have to review everything. I'm like, I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
I'm just not willing to buy 90% of the slop. This is back when I'm like, gaming sucks and I got to talk about it. But I'm also kind of like torturing myself because I already know that these games are going to be bad. So why give them $60, $70, $80 to review? Because that to me, that's the YouTube grind. And for me personally, not healthy. I don't do that. I'm not Angry Joe. I can't just go out and buy a game and justify the cost by making content, shitting on it for 30, 40 minutes, and then go back to thinking that I want to enjoy gaming and I want to enjoy doing YouTube. And so that's when I kind of, that's the conversation I had with Young Sykes where he was just like, look, man, why you guys over here bitching and whining? I'm just having all this fun with all these great games. And don't get me wrong, like it's really hard. It's really easy to get tunnel vision when a lot of the old games in the past kind of keep you focused on those games, and all these franchises are dying or getting terrible, like Tekken, Dead or Alive. And that's kind of what kind of kept me, like, oh man, gaming is so bad because my favorite game from 30 years ago isn't as good as it could be.
Yeah. Play
something else. There's plenty of new games to get into, to appreciate and prop up because they actually deserve it.
I agree. And we've been seeing a lot of that lately with what is the Expedition? So I'm seeing a lot of good games as well. I've been scoping everything out, and I have my little list of games that I kind of want to play. And I got my backlog of games. My backlog of games is getting ridiculous right now. So there are plenty of good games to play, and actually, I'm definitely having fun playing the games that I like.
Yeah.
A lot of older games, few newer ones, some indie games, some old AAA games that were good. So I even though there's a lot of negativity in the gaming space right now, I'm still having fun with it.
Yeah, and that's what it's supposed to be at the end of the day. Like I noticed that a lot of YouTubers kind of turn it into like this professional bitching. And I don't want to get paid to bitch. I want to get paid. I want to bring back like the X play days, because back then, just from a viewer perspective, it seemed like everything was a lot of fun to do. It was like, man, it'll be fun to talk about video games, and I don't want to talk about video games disparagingly for a living, because then I end up just like them. Like, man, games suck, and these gamers are just so pretentious and blah blah blah. Yes, I see you updated your picture. Gaseous Clay.
Who is that? Is that the Green Goblin?
I think
Is that William Dafoe? That's what it looked like, William Dafoe.
Look like William Dafoe. Imagine having a criminal like Bitchford trying to shame people into buying new Reddit lands. Yeah, that's one of the topics. So you're already on it, Gaseous Clay. You doing all right, I hope, Mr. Moon Cricket. But let's see. Let's go ahead and get started with Randy Pitchford.
Oh Lord.
And his comment on real gamers. Notice the gay and the and I thought this, and to me, like I said, this is this is funny. I find this humorous. This isn't really so much bad news as it is hilarious, because on your live stream, also everybody go check out H3 to the Games live. We've been that's what we've been doing lately for the past couple of months. Been going live on his channel, talking about some video game stuff, but more aligned with fighting game news and information to be found at H3 of the Games YouTube channel. But let's go ahead. Let me go ahead and present this article we have over here. Right, so I think it's IGN. Here we go. Yeah. No, wait, not that one.
So I read a little bit of this article, maybe like I think today, actually, a little bit of it today. So I'm kind of caught up on it, and I'm kind of disappointed, but I'll let you go ahead.
Well, it's oh yeah, it is William Dafoe. Like I said, man, it's disappointing. I'm doing well, man. I'm doing well, doing as well can be. But like I said, it's disappointing. But there's a lot of
more Stellar Blade.
Man, I thought I hit pause. Stop. No. Oh my god, I hate this website. But like I said, like stuff like this, even though it's bad news, it's depending on where you align as far as being being good about your hobby gaming. This is funny. This is comedy, and it writes itself. Just like we talked about on your live stream a few weeks ago about Nintendo upping their prices for games. We all kind of predictably so saw that a lot of these other companies would follow suit.
Yeah.
Just kind of shows you how much sway that Nintendo has in regards to controlling the conversation when it comes to game value.
Yeah.
And it's funny seeing, people like this over here, Borderlands, who doesn't have the best track record in terms of quality games, making the assumption that they could also sell their games at $80.
Yeah.
So here on this, no, go ahead.
Like on a topic of Nintendo, man, it's like, it seems like whenever something like that happens, these companies get really bold, man.
Mm-hmm.
Really, really bold, and think they can do whatever they want as far as, how they treat their customers. So this is a testament to how bold these companies are getting. Yeah,
and also with how easy it is to manipulate a market that has a massive audience, a massive normie audience. And you know, that's something that I usually bitch about, but I'm trying to find a way to talk about it in a less villainous manner. But we'll see, because I might keep that, because fuck them. But
Yeah.
in this IGN article, as gamers express concern about Borderlands 4 potentially costing $80, Gearbox chief Randy Bitchford says, if you're a real fan, you'll find a way to make it happen. And
That's terrible.
What's funny is, like, I made the same joke when Nintendo did their part. I was like, look, man, Nintendo fans they're gonna buy it. Like, they're not gonna put up a fight when it comes to the new Donkey Kong or Super Mario,
the Mario Kart,
yeah,
World, or whatever it's called.
Yeah, so it's like, and this, you know, this is a little more to me, this coming from these guys is a little more insulting, because it's like, all right, at least Nintendo is Nintendo. You guys are Borderlands, who hasn't been like good since 2, if I remember.
Yeah. I agree. Nintendo is kind of like the heavy hitter. They got a track record of, like you said, like delivering good products to people. You know, and when you have that track record, you know, even though it's still shitty to raise the prices on people, people are a little bit more forgiving because they know that they're getting a better product.
Yeah, you know, the whole like digital thing aside, like Nintendo has a very good reputation when it comes to quality games.
Yeah.
So as bad as it is, like you said, it's still like, well, Nintendo can kind of get away with at least saying that out in the open.
Yeah, it's like, you know, the best car dealership in the world saying, "Oh, well, we're going up in prices," and then you go to like Bob's car dealer. He has all like these used cars that barely work. It's like, we're raising our prices too. Like,
it's like, who said you could do that?
Like, dude, these are all lemon cars. What? Why?
And nobody is coming to get these cars out of desire.
Yeah,
like,
who wants this? It's like, who cares?
I'm like, didn't you guys do enough damage with that fucking movie? That Randy Pitchford also, you know, he was like, this is Borderlands, guys. And I'm like,
bro, I forgot all about that movie.
Yeah, because it's like, you have way too many failures that completely overshadow your victories with Borderlands in the past. And it's rich. It's rich coming from these guys. But outspoken Gearbox chief Randy Pitchford has responded to a fan who expressed concern about the prospect of paying $80 for Borderlands 4, saying, if you're a real fan, you'll find a way to make it happen. That is as good of a response as anyone can give to your consumer base. And
is that him? Is that the guy in the suit?
Yep, look at this guy.
He looks unlikable.
That smile, how could you not like this guy?
He looks like he would say that. If you're a real fan, you'll scrape up your money. You'll scrape up your money from your mom and your dad. You're struggling to pay bills.
In this economy, you'll make it happen in this economy. It's like,
shut
all right,
your ass up. But yeah, go ahead.
The video game industry has made the jump to $80, first with Nintendo and Mario Kart World, then with Microsoft and its price hike announcement that will kick this holiday season. Could Borderlands follow suit? And I think it's safe to say, duh. And just like Billy Dunn said, I laughed for a good minute when Xbox raised their prices, because it's like, and I think for a while, a lot of it was like in response to Trump's tariffs, which doesn't seem like the case anymore now, at least as far as I know. I haven't really been following the ups and downs of however that's supposed to shake out. I'll just wait for that to finish up before I say yay or nay to whether it matters or not. And I like how a lot of them use that excuse when there was a whole tariff war between China and the U.S.
Yeah.
And Nintendo was like, we gotta raise the prices, otherwise it's just not possible.
Terrible excuse.
Yeah, it's fucking dumb. Here's the exchange, Randy. This game better not be $80. Don't take that risk. A lot of gamers aren't going to pay $80 and feed this notion of constant increases of the price tag. You are the CEO. You have some say in the price when it comes to your publisher. Here's Randy's response.
They actually censored that, by the way. They took out some explicit words that were used.
Of course they did. You know, this is a kids show after all.
Yeah.
A, not my call. B, if you're a real fan, you'll make it happen. My local game store had Starflight for Sega Genesis for $8. Oh my, okay. I'm not even gonna finish that. That's well, but you get the idea.
Yeah.
So it's
So I was talking to Young Sykes like earlier today, and we were kind of talking about this topic, and we were talking about how social media has ruined a lot of things, especially when it comes to gaming, to where a lot of these CEOs and people in these companies are speaking out and saying things when they just need to shut up. Just shut up. I remember a day where like they used to put out games and you didn't know anything. Nobody responded, you know. Like you could talk all you want, but hell, the game would be out. It could be shitty, it could be good. It didn't matter. They didn't say anything.
Yeah, it was.
They didn't say anything. It's like, well, you gotta spend the money and find out if it's bad or good. You know,
which was fair. And the people who did the digging were the only ones who knew anything about whoever behind the scenes.
Yeah.
But now that they come running, they can't wait to come out and say something.
No, they can't wait to say something. Like, shut up. It's like you're ruining like whatever business practices you're gonna do. If you're throwing shit on top of it that you're saying on top of, you know, whatever else you're doing with the game, people are going to have backlash. It's like, and the backlash towards you is going to turn out to be backlash towards your game. Now, this could come out and be a good game, but people don't buy it because you're saying shit like this.
Yeah.
You know, it's like it's going to turn people off completely, and it's crazy. Just shut up.
Yeah. And let's see, they got some more down here. As you'd expect, Pitchford's comments have sparked a vociferous response. Lamau, CEO, said real fan, woo-wee in this economy. Said one user, wow, that's probably a bad take, cost of living crisis, and you're just going to say if you're a real fan, damn.
Exactly.
And another said, what an elitist out-of-touch response. His solution, just buy it, you know you will. And like, it's funny because I said the exact same thing, like jokingly. But I have to admit, you know, he isn't wrong when it comes to how some people perceive games as fans, you know, real gamers. And I think that's kind of the point. You know, when I use that jokingly to describe some of, you know, the hardcore Nintendo fans that will literally go into bankruptcy in order to get that Switch 2 and $80, $100 Switch games, those people exist. And I think that's the demographic that people like Randy Pitchford prefer. And they're just no longer hiding that they're not hiding that anymore. They clearly want what's the meme? Consume product and get excited for next product.
Yeah.
And while that is a thing, to what degree it kind of is, because if you look at a lot of how some of these other games have been that are, you know, kind of terrible, but still managed to hit their financial quarters or whatever, despite being bad or anti-consumer, I'm not surprised that he has this mindset.
Yeah.
It's kind of hard to be surprised because gaming is huge now. Yeah. It's so big that, yeah, you guy here with expectations and standards aren't as important as you think you are because you're outnumbered by a mob of normies who will buy anything because it's new or shiny or everyone's talking about it or how everyone wants to be involved.
Yeah.
That's kind of what Cross was talking about, where he says, nowadays the social aspect of games is what's getting people in, not the game itself.
Yeah.
And back in the because back in the day, there was the social aspect was you had to be there. You weren't a part of the conversation because there was no conversation to be had unless you were physically there.
Yeah.
With the expansion of online and the internet and social media, now there's like a fan club for every aspect about a game. Like the Gen fan club. That's part of the Tekken fan club. That's part of the Namco fan club. That's part of the, and it just goes on and on. So again, I want to look at news like this as I find this humorous because the right people or the wrong people in this case are going to buy this game. Because there are some people out there that probably like that Borderlands movie. And that's all the justification they need to go buy Borderlands 4. So when I say this isn't for gamers, this is what I mean. You're no longer the target audience.
Yeah, it's like you said. I get what he's saying. If you're a real fan, then you'll find a way. But in this economy, man, where people are struggling and got to scrape up things to buy certain things, and in some cases, you got kids asking their moms and their dads to buy these games. And for you to say if you're a real friend, you'll find a way. It's like, what you trying to act? What you trying to say? People, I'm gonna rob my mom. I'm gonna take some money out my mom's purse to get this game. It's like, no,
you'll make it happen.
Yeah, you'll make it happen. Rob a Wendy's or something.
Whatever it takes.
Whatever it takes. It's like this. I think it's very insensitive and out of touch of him to kind of say that with everything that's going on in this economy with tariffs and inflation and all this other stuff is like just ridiculous. So, for him to say that, like, bro, you just get off of social media. Just get off.
It's like
you have too much money now that you are totally out of touch.
Yeah, and another thing is like games are not that important. And while let me update that statement, games like this are not that important. And it kind of goes back to what I was saying about focusing on your love for gaming, not just games. Because Expedition 33 came out at like $40-50. That is a price we haven't seen across the board for gaming in over 15 years, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
And it's one of those things where gaming still does cost that, but you have to seek it out. Like, we can't keep following the mainstream AAA appeal, expecting things to change when it is what it is now. There's no scenario where we're just going to go back, because the reason why it was like that back then is because gaming wasn't as big. There wasn't this huge pool of a consumer base to manipulate and abuse.
Yeah. And you just brought up a really, really good point. It's like this game here, say for instance, this game here is $80. And then you got Expedition 33 that's $40. And it's like a way better game. What do you think I'm gonna get?
Yeah.
Even if like the quality is the same, it's like, okay, this game is cheaper and has the same level of quality or better. Like, I'm just gonna go with that. Especially like on the subject of parents and moms and things like that. It's like, what do you think they're gonna get? Like 40 versus 80? Well, they're gonna get the 40. I'm guaranteed.
Well, to be fair, there's a lot of parents these days. Parents ain't like they were back in our day.
Where some of them do spoil their kids.
Yeah,
But
they don't care what it is. Like,
you know,
whatever, son. Swipe the credit card and get out my face so I can bitch about your ain't shit daddy on social media.
but yeah, like there's too many good games out there at discounted prices for them to say what they're saying.
Mhm.
It's like they have to compete with stuff like Expedition 33 and all the older games that are becoming cheaper as well. That's on our
Yeah,
wish list. So
yeah. And then there's Steam. Because let's say I am a Borderlands fan, but I'm not an idiot. Let's I, I'm a gamer, but I'm not a real gamer, you know. I got until whenever. And if it's gonna be anything like Borderlands 3, it'll come out at a very deep discount because ain't nobody
Yep.
gonna play that shit.
I will play my back catalog until it goes down.
Yeah. It's like because that's another thing me and Young Sykes talked about. I was like, I have so many games that I haven't played that I like, but I haven't played because I'm an idiot who likes to buy everything on sale through Steam. Like, even if I were to play these games back to back nonstop, I would die of natural causes before I finish.
Yeah.
So, it's one of those things where it's like, it's really gaming. This is one of the benefits of gaming's huge growth and explosion. There's so many games to play, and there's so many ways to access games of the past that I didn't play. And I'm really pretty much satisfied. Like, there's not really much. I don't need any new games.
Mm,
And don't get me wrong, I still want some new games that are good.
yeah.
But games like this, I tomorrow will come just as yesterday left.
Yeah.
And I will be just fine. But
I agree. I agree with that.
so they even mentioned Clear Obscure here. There seems to be a
Yeah.
call for cheaper, manageable games, and with Sandfall received for Clear Obscure. And that's another thing. I'm glad I saw that. But here's the thing, because like the increase in prices doesn't justify the budget that these people use for these games. And I'll use Monster Hunter Wilds, for example. I don't know what the budget of that game is, but it was very high, but it doesn't benefit the game itself. That's why there's so many things wrong with Monster Hunter Wilds. It's kind of why I just haven't. I don't I just don't like that game. Even though it's a new Monster Hunter and they're doing a lot of different things that appear like it would get my attention or I would like it. It's the same issue because when I look at Monster Hunter World looks like its whole purpose from beginning to end was we're making a Monster Hunter game. And some of the things that they focus on and don't focus on kind of show that. But the meat and potatoes of Monster Hunter World is the hunting of monsters. The story isn't that big of a deal, but the budget used to develop that game it's not ridiculous. It doesn't have this cinematic scope. That's why I can't stand PlayStation games, because their whole thing is like, we're trying to be cinematic, and we got this actor from Battlestar Galactica who's developing a big ego because he thinks he should be paid this, even though this isn't fucking Hollywood.
Yeah.
This isn't Netflix. Unspoiled yesterday. What's going on, man? Low time, no see. And speaking of Young Sykes, the other issue is no one asks you to spend this money. Yeah, just like what I said. No one asks you to spend all this money on the budget of a game like that. It's like there's no reason for a game to be that expensive to develop. But because the gaming industry is turning into the movie industry, we can expect all the waste, fraud, and abuse that comes associated with it. Because just like look at these Disney movies. Do you really think a budget for a Disney blockbuster has to be $300 million, which means they have to make $600 million in order to turn a profit? It's like, dude.
Yeah. And a lot of these smaller studios are putting the big studios to shame. They're coming in with like less money and more passion and creating things that just blow the AAA games away. Just blows them away. Same thing with movies. Like you got movies like Sinners coming out with like a lower budget than Disney, and just blowing them away. It's crazy.
Yeah. Asher Phoenix, welcome to the live stream.
Hey, what's going on?
Cinematic 30 F's. and like, yeah, none of these things are for optimization. Again, back to Monster Hunter Wilds. You know, back in the day, optimization was difficult because the technology wasn't really there yet. It was developing, but it wasn't just available for every game to play like that, especially when we were like increasing things like resolution and higher frame rates and stuff like that. But you would, you know, if you look at a game like Monster Hunter Wilds, the optimization on that game is so dog shit. And you could tell that's something they put no effort into. And it kind of goes to, you know, last time we talked about DLSS and FSR. They're just trying to push this new fake frame technology in order to call it optimization. And it's like there are just so many different directions where gaming is, you know, on a huge, you know, AAA scale, not gaming, but on a huge scale that's just, it's counterproductive to the growth and health of our favorite hobby.
Yeah.
But if you look at games like Clear Obscure, I put about an hour and a half into it. You know, I've been playing a lot of Marvel Rivals, but that game plays very well. I haven't had any real issues, and I'm on a whole different platform.
Yeah.
Based Linux, by the way. But to see a game like that work as well as it does at launch without any major issues that kind of stop me from being able to boot up the game, Monster Hunter Rise, Capcom. But you know, it's for all of the issues in gaming, there are people and forces that are doing their best to make sure gaming is good and playable and accessible. Thank you, Gabe Newell, and the Steam Deck. So
now, I'm curious. That question right there: would you pay $80 for the latest blockbuster game? People in the chat, would you pay $80 for like the latest blockbuster game? I am going to say I don't know. I don't know.
Absolutely not. But let's see the results.
84.9% said no.
I cannot believe this. This is such an unprecedented outcome. What do they mean they wouldn't pay $80? Don't they know? Do people forgot what FOMO is? You don't want to miss out on the greatest next blah blah. All right.
So with that percentage, I've been thinking that too. I've been thinking no as well. But man, these games, these $80 games, if you're not Nintendo, I think outside of Nintendo, I think are gonna fail, man.
Well, I don't know.
I think we're gonna have some really good games that come out that are $80 that people are gonna be like, no, I'm not paying that much.
Here's the thing, you could be right.
Unspoiled yesterday. That is that's an insurance bill. That's cable bill. Yeah, like you said, gas bill. That's many bills.
Yeah, several rolled into one.
Yeah.
And well, here's my thing, like, because I think their no game is worth that much. I agree, unless it's like a super rare physical copy that is no longer in print or production. I would be like, oh yeah, I would probably pay $300 for it because I'm going to be the only fucker within a 500-mile radius with the game. Just like my Fatal Frame collection. I got the first three. The first one on, I think, the original Xbox, that version. I don't have the PlayStation 2 one. The Fatal Frame 2, Crimson Butterfly for the original Xbox, and Fatal Frame 3 for the PlayStation 2. And I think these games are accessible now through some version of online. Maybe you can get it from the PlayStation Store.
Yeah.
But the physical games have some level of value to them.
Yeah, they do.
Only there is where I think a game is worth $80 and beyond. But digital games, get the fuck out. You got it. You no way. never even pays 70, rarely pays 60. Yeah, and that's the thing. And like I was saying, when your consumer base is so wide, because gaming's for everybody now, it's not, I don't think it's that difficult to hit that target of people. Because like, let's say, take this poll, for example. This poll has 84% of gamers, or 85, that's like, no gamers, I'm not willing to pay $80. But what if 15% of that of this pie is actually the masses, and the amount of people that will say no are people like us?
That's a good point.
So
that's a good point.
Just saying, like, that's a possibility. Don't know how, it's not really important to try to figure out the numbers, but I think that's a driving factor behind why so many of these companies are willing to just say this blatantly and not think much of it after it's out there.
Yeah.
And that kind of goes back to my whole thing, is why gaming should be made niche again.
Yeah.
Because, back then, prices and stuff were reasonable because the only people playing the games were people who actually liked and enjoyed video games.
I agree.
But, that's Randy Bitchford and his real gamers.
Yeah.
So he can do whatever he want. Who cares? But let's go on to more important matters, like Romeo and Juliet have been they are on the way for Raven's Watch. Now, Raven's Watch is one of those games that is reasonably priced, a lot of fun. I think I put about 320 hours into the game so far.
Bro, I wonder how many hours I put in, because you guys, you and Young Sykes put me onto that game, and
you got to be past 100 or close to it. Yeah, I'm at 315.8.
I'm at 161.1 hours.
Which is pretty fast given how late you got into the game.
Yes. Very much so.
So, in case you guys don't know, Raven's Watch is a roguelike top-down video game. And, me, Young Sykes, and H through the game are particularly interested in the next DLC, which is 2 more characters, Romeo and Juliet. Hold on. I accidentally clicked out of my presentation tab.
Yeah, and really great co-op game. We have fun with it every time we play. Every time.
So I'm going to play a segment of this, not the whole thing, but just a segment.
I'm Adrien, game director at Pasta Games.
It's sick.
Thrilled to introduce Romeo and Juliet, the newest addition to the cast of Raven's Watch. Plus, I have a surprise announcement for you. The Romeo and Juliet free DLC will come out on all platforms on May 27th.
Free DLC. Boy, we here at Raven's Watch are eating so good because the way I interpret free DLC is that your game has to be doing really fucking good for you to give away DLC of this caliber. These are 2 separate characters for free. Like, they're like, hey, you guys have been having a lot of fun. Here's 2 characters on us.
Yeah, you supported us. Here you go.
Yeah. So this is the great news that we often kind of skip when we hyper focus on stuff like Borderlands CEO says a meme or something like that.
I agree. That's a really good point there.
Yeah, but let's continue.
The wait is nearly over. Today, we will take a deep dive into the lovers' playstyles and reveal more about their shared backstories. But first, take a look at this quick gameplay montage.
It's so cool.
Romeo and Juliet are the title characters of William Shakespeare's tragedy. The play has been adapted many times on stage.
My favorite one is at the bottom right with Leonardo DiCaprio. That's my favorite interpretation.
I've always wanted to watch it. I always see that. I used to always see that movie on like HBO and Cinemax and stuff like that. But being a person who doesn't understand the lingo of like Shakespearean plays, I couldn't get into it. But like the dramatic and the cinematography of it just looks so cool. It looks so
Yeah.
cool. All of the actors are cool. It's just um yeah, I'm
And
gonna have to watch it one day.
yeah, like it's really cool. Like I have really like good memories of it because this was back when before I really started to like Leonardo DiCaprio. And
Mm,
it was funny because like I've always seen him growing up in like stuff like Titanic, Romeo and Juliet. And I recognized his face. I didn't know his name. It wasn't until like as I got older, I was just like, man, this guy is like in the coolest shit. And then the
mm,
greatest movie of all time, The Great Gatsby, came out, and I was like, holy shit! But anyway, I'm fanboy. But when it comes to, I really like these guys' approach because this is such a specific niche in literature, and for them to be like using it as a template for a video game, because he even says it's like a lot of time we see a lot of adaptations in movies, film, books and stuff, but we don't really see it in video games.
it's true.
And it's really cool to see, like, so to me, this is where gaming shines. And it was like this back in 6th gen before it became mainstream, because a lot of games that we were into were very specific and niche, and you had to kind of do some digging to see like what inspired this game or this franchise.
Yeah.
And in films, but is rarely explored in video games. Romeo and Juliet are the epitome of forbidden love. Despite the hatred and the long-lasting feud between their rival families, they found a way to be together in death. But in Ravenswatch, we've revisited their story. After Juliet discovers that Romeo committed suicide to be with her, she makes a deal with the witch Baba Yaga to bring him back to life. It comes with a great deal of repercussions, as they are now bounded together, even in death.
The repercussions.
Now, let's look closer
Yeah.
at the ability
Yeah.
kit.
And so, like, we'll stop from there. But if you guys want to check this out, this is from Past Tech Games YouTube channel,
Yeah.
and this is really cool.
So
But
yeah, so I watched the full video, and one of the gameplay details between the characters is so cool is that Romeo and Juliet are both linked, right? So they get different combination attacks, and they can use each other's health to heal each other if need be during the game. And if one of the characters happens to die, then the other character dies too. If you don't revive them, I'm assuming.
yeah,
But yeah, man, when we play, man, y'all better not die on me, man. Get me killed too.
you better be cold. I think
Yeah,
Romeo and
it's
Juliet probably exclusive to me and Chris, since we the better players.
man. If y'all die on me, I'm gonna be. Oh, actually, I'm gonna probably be dying on y'all. Y'all probably gonna be getting mad at me.
Like, damn it, Herbert, get up, bro.
I need some life. Give me your life. I need help.
Out here getting toe up, and I ain't got hit one time.
Yes,
Like,
I know you have full life. Give me half. I need half.
Like share stock in Smash Bros.
Oh man, this is gonna be awesome. But yeah, if you love like co-op games, it's 4 players. It's up to 4 players. If you haven't played it, I would highly recommend it.
Yeah, so that's another game I should, prioritize reviewing, because I put a lot of time into it. I need to show, and that's how gaming should be.
Yeah.
The games that you're passionate about, that you actually like and play a lot, you should definitely give them their desserts. They're just desserts.
Yeah, give them their flowers. I agree.
And any paid DLC that this game comes out with, I buy every time. I buy everything. The next paid DLC that's coming out is the costumes for Romeo and Juliet. I'm buying all of them. I want it all. The only thing that I probably, at some point in the future, but this is kind of where I want I really wish physical could make a comeback. I really would like for there to be a definitive version of this game in a physical form that I could buy and have. But one day, maybe, who knows?
Yeah.
Speaking of games that we thoroughly enjoy playing,
oh man,
Gooners rise up.
We are rising in more ways than one.
So, like, that was a segment I was going to put on here, but I put it in the title of the Goon Squad. But Grand Blue Fantasy Rising. This is a game that, once again, Young Sykes. Young Sykes is the homie. He's one of those. He just puts his head down and just finds and plays. He's always looking for some good games. Like, he put me on Ravens Watch. He put me on Grand Blue. He put me on what's that other one? That game we played together. We streamed that game for like 9 hours straight, grounded.
Okay, yeah.
And Gunfire Reborn. I think I found that one, but we've been playing some really good games. And so right here, Grand Blue Fantasy versus Rising is a 2D fighting game. And they've recently released the new DLC character, Galleon. I don't know how you pronounce it. But let's take a look at this character.
The music is so good, man.
Even in this vale of tears, blessed be children of the skies.
Yeah, back.
Prepare to witness the might of Galleon the Gold. Come now, Singularity. I shall embrace all that you are with open arms.
Slap.
You were wonderful. Watching such small lives working in unison is truly beautiful. Show me more of your harmonious bond. I support all who walk upon the earth. The soil won't claim me yet. All are welcome to receive my blessing. Deep beneath the earth.
Oh, not my character, Bilal. No.
Pack him up. That's enough of that kid. Okay.
So, that character looks so dope, dude.
Yeah, dope. That's the word I would use to describe her.
Oh man. I wonder who in our group is gonna play that character.
I don't know, man. This is it's feeling like I don't know. I think I'm starting to like these monsters, these monster girls. Susia and Galleon. But we'll see, But this is another example of gamers being rewarded. This is a treat. And again, Grand Blue is a game that's come out twice. I think the first version wasn't really that appealing. It didn't really make that much of a splash, but this version is definitely it's putting up. You know what they say, like put up or shut up. They're putting up.
Yeah,
they're cooking, and it's really nice. Like when you spend money on DLC and you just like happy about it. I think that's how this game makes me feel.
Yeah. Yeah, the first version had the unfortunate time of coming out when the pandemic came out. And I think that version didn't have the best online connection, so people couldn't really play each other. because it was the only way you could play somebody was online during that time. So um, they came back with Grand Blue Fantasy versus Rising, and they upped the ante on everything. So it's the complete package. If
Yep.
you, yep,
And yeah, good. This is another game that kind of snuck up on me. I don't really have. This is pretty much my fighting game that I've been playing exclusively. I haven't really been playing anything else that I could think of. But yeah, it's a lot of fun and very, very rewarding. You know, so far everything that's come out is right up my alley. You know, at first I didn't think I'd be too big into anime fighters, but this is the game. You know, sometimes it just takes the right mixture for me to understand and get into it. Because before it was Blaze Blue, but I kind of got burnt out because I made a billion of them. I'm just like, dude, I can't keep up.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know what you want me to do.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah, this game is very easy to get into, very easy to play, but it's hard to master. So
Yeah.
if you're just now getting into fighting games, this would be probably your best bet or the best game. And we fortunately got into it after all of the balance changes. So we are in like probably the most balanced era of the game. So
Yeah.
everybody that was strong has been toned down. Everybody's been balanced out. So yeah.
Yeah.
And when I play, I don't feel like I get cheated um, at all. I feel like that if I lose, like I just got outplayed.
Yeah.
And I win when I win, I feel like okay, I played my best. It's like I don't feel like I got gimmicked out or anything, you know.
Yeah. And that's kind of how I feel. Like I get, you know, you guys beat me up a lot, but part of it is because like, well, if I wasn't playing rivals so much, I would probably know how to deal with this. But I'm just kind of getting, I'll keep attacking when I shouldn't attack and get counter hit, but you know, it's not frustrating, you know. And stuff that I thought was kind of whack, you know, eventually you'll learn. It's like, okay, that's what it's just this character, and this is how this works. There's a way around it. You just have to play it more.
Yeah, and the game does a really good job of giving you like mechanics to kind of tackle anything, you know, with the spot dodges and the rolls and the alpha counters. So, you know, you have things to combat all of the stuff in it.
Yeah. And I do like how both of these DLCs for Raven's Watch and Grand Blue are like a day apart. So
oh yeah.
So Romeo and Juliet, May 27th, Galleon at May 28th. I'm like, man, guys, this is the part where you know you could get away with like, oh, you'll make it happen. It's like you damn right I'll make it happen because I actually like these games and they're affordable because one of these are free.
Yeah, it's worth it.
Yeah, like that's value. And so shouts out to Past Tech Games and Ravens Watch and Grand Blue Fantasy Rising. You guys are crushing it. I'm very satisfied with these purchases I've made.
Oh, and just a side note, at the time of this video, Grand Blue Fantasy versus Rising is 61% off on Steam.
Yes, that is right.
I don't know if it's discounted on other platforms like PlayStation, Xbox, but yeah, on Steam is 61% off. We've been talking about prices, you know, for the last couple of streams, but it's like $29.99 right now. The deluxe edition too, so you get way more stuff for a discounted price. If you haven't picked it up, man, go ahead and pick it up. It's a good game.
This is offer ends June 3rd. We're shilling Grand Blue Fantasy Rising. Like you can get the deluxe version for $30, where it's normally priced at $75. You know, this I think this game holds its value really good, but it's on sale right now. So
yeah,
if you're curious or just want something nice to look at, you ain't got to just be in the fighting games. Like obviously, have you seen this girl? She ain't the only one that looks that good. Just saying. So
Narmaya.
yeah. Oh my goodness. Man, I need to be playing
Yeah.
that game.
Yeah.
But also just quick shout out to Marvel Rivals. That game is free, but again, they treat your eyes well. And as a gamer, I like Gooner. I like what I see, and that's what matters, bro. I like putting money into things I like. I like what I see. When I like it, I buy it.
Yeah.
But Grand Blue DLC has been pretty on point. Only one that's a bit underwhelming is Sandalphon. Well, I just got him yesterday, and I have to figure him out before I kind of because I like the way he looks. He looks cool. He sounds cool.
That's what I was about to say. Even if he if you think he's like underwhelming, he still looks cool and sounds cool. Everything he does is like awesome.
He's like Jin levels of cool, catching the feather. I was like, man, that's just like a thing. It looks really cool.
And see, and one thing too about this game, about Grand Blue, is that they take a lot of things from other games and they're unapologetic about it. But it's a good thing that they do it because if you have a certain play style that you like, you'll find it. So if you like Street Fighter, there's characters that play like Street Fighter characters. If you like KOF, there are characters that play like KOF characters. We even got a Soul Bad guy. Soul Bad Girl. Yeah, Soul Bad Girl, who has Soul's play style from Guilty Gear. So if there's a play style or a certain aesthetic that you like, there are so many characters in the game. There's like 35 plus characters in the game now. So you're definitely gonna find something that you like as far as play styles and looks. So I would say pick it up when you get a chance.
Yeah, it's definitely worth it. I'm thoroughly enjoying it so far. But we got another topic here. This is kind of for me because I've been going back and forth with this game, and it's frustrating. And because at first when it came out, it was amazing. It was like, wow, this is how it's done. And then those bastards at Sony was just like, hold on, looks like everyone's enjoying this a little too much. Let's dial it back like 100. Of course, we're talking about Helldivers. Now, this is one of those games that I really enjoyed when it came out. It was a lot of fun. I was surprised with how much fun it was or how much fun it is rather. And the only thing that ruined it wasn't so much of the game itself. They were doing things that were frustrating to say the least, with the whole balancing, constantly changing stuff for a PvE game as if it's like some type of pro major league thing where it's like, oh man, the shotgun blaster is too OP. We need to nerf it. It's like, dude, we're shooting bugs and robots. Anyway, that aside. But the biggest issue was Sony's influence. Now, I've booted it up again just out of, because they recently had an update where Super Earth is under attack. And now the LARP, when it first came out, was a lot of fun. I was like, yeah, we need to fight those clankers, all hell Super Earth, all that stuff. It was fun until Sony came and ruined the fun. And I'm not going to lie, part of me still kind of yearns for that because the game itself is fun, undeniably fun. And, kind of like I said at the beginning of this program, is that I want to play games that are fun, that I enjoy. And I do enjoy Helldivers. And I think a lot of the boys would enjoy Helldivers. So there is, for me, speaking for myself, there's going to be a return to Helldivers. Like, it's a lot of fun. And I saw recently that the guys behind Helldivers, that Arrowhead, they're saying that their next game is going to be fully self-funded by them. And it's just to kind of get away from Sony, because Sony's influence in a lot of things is just frustratingly problematic.
Yeah.
It really hinders their ability to grow, especially when stuff like what happened with the PlayStation Network shit
Yeah,
Like,
what is it? You had to have a PSN in order to play the game or something like that.
yeah, after the game came out for a few months, and so we're all thinking like, yeah, the game works, so I don't need an account to blah 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 blah. And then they came out with, well, actually, you do need an account, and there's a huge backlash, which just really took the wind out of that game's sales.
Yeah, I remember.
And that's the part that becomes frustrating when it's the current industry as it is. The modern industry has a lot of negative PR, negative press that will undermine an otherwise fantastic game. And when I talk about making gaming niche again, it's to get away from them. They call they're not worth the hassle. And they understand that. That's why they try to latch on to some of these games. Stellar Blade is another example. You know, that game is coming out June 11th, I believe, next month. And PlayStation, same problem. They're trying to attach certain aspects of that game to a PSN account. And I made a video a while ago shitting on PlayStation fanboys. That's just like, look, we don't want your console influence on the PC platform. We'll take your games because it's just an exchange of money. You take our money, we get the game. But there shouldn't be this thing on the side where it's like, oh, you need an account to do this or whatever. So it's just like, you know, consoles, you're not good like that anymore. You don't have that appeal anymore. Because if you still had the appeal, I would have bought the game on PlayStation.
Yeah.
So
I feel the same way. If there's a game where I have to do something other than just buy it and play it, I don't want nothing to do with it. I remember Multiverses. When that came out, I was like, oh man, it's cool. We got Superman, Bugs Bunny, and all these other characters. Let me play for free. And it's like, oh, well, you got to sign up for this and sign up for that. And I was like, I don't want to play it no more.
Yeah, it's too many hoops. And it's funny because, you know, back in the day, you know, this is, you know, me being a boomer. I can't help it because it's objectively gaming was just better. It just was. There's no scenario or universe where I could think back during a PS2, GameCube, Xbox days and say something that's happening now in 2025 is objectively better than it was in 2005, 2003. Because games just worked. You could own the game. You could play the game whenever you felt like it. Ugh. But we got a article here from at Niche Gamer by Brandon Orselli. He was also I also want to make sure I properly give these guys their credit. He also had an article for Grand Blue.
Oh, okay, really? Okay.
Yeah, Niche Gamer is a pretty solid website for gaming information and news. That is until I make my website, but we'll get there later. Cross that bridge as we get there. Publishers at Sony and developer Shift Up have officially announced the release date for Stellar Blade on PC alongside new Goddess of Victory Nikkei DLC. The sci-fi action game is coming to Windows PC via Steam June 11th alongside the new Goddess of Victory DLC for both PC and its original PS5 version. A complete edition will launch same date for PC and PS5.
Yeah.
And here's all the bullshit, DLSS, blah, 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 whatever. But all the typical bells and whistles for the PC version are here and accounted for, as well as performance or whatnot. I don't think he mentions that there's like some PlayStation. I think, okay, that's what it is. So it's nothing major. There are...
that's good.
There are costumes that are locked to a PSN account, but who gives a fuck about that? So
yeah, but that's still whack too.
It is whack, but it is nothing like what happened with Helldivers, which is kind of like, and like you're right, it's still whack, but because it's on PC, I don't view it as much of an issue because we have mods. So
yeah,
if there's something we can do about it, it's that.
Yeah. Now, I haven't played Stellar Blade. Have you played this game?
I have.
I know it looks good. It's like one of the best looking games I've seen in a while. but I haven't played it per se.
Well, to me, like, cause I had like uh relative slight interest in Stellar Blade, but once I saw that it was on PlayStation, I was like, well, I'll just wait for PC because I have zero interest in getting anything on a PlayStation, like at all. So, and from what I could see, it's not like this game is clearly eye candy, wrapped
Yeah.
in a cool, fast paced, action packed uh package, which I'm fine with because I play a little bit the First Descendant, which is essentially the same thing.
Yeah.
Like it's eye candy, but in the form of a shooter, kind of like a third person over the person.
Cassius Clay.
That is correct. I couldn't have described it better myself. Apparently, Stellar Blade is not available in countries without PSN and has some. Yeah, that's what it was. See, there was something. And I think that's still the case for Helldivers when it comes to accessibility in different countries, which is frustrating because if it's on the PC platform, then it should be available in those countries. It shouldn't not be available because PlayStation.
Yeah.
But that's kind of like where, and I agree, Gash Play, PS2, Xbox, GameCube, Dreamcast peaked gaming hands down. But and this is like the issue with modern gaming, especially when it comes to because this is their idea of exclusivity now, which is just to get in the way of something. Because look, again, if your system was worth a damn in the first place, you wouldn't have to bring it to PC, and I would have to get a PlayStation 5 to play this game. But because of several other factors wrapped into whatever, there's no value. So whenever I see a game that was originally on the PS5 or Xbox come to PC, I take that as that console failing.
Yeah.
Because you notice Nintendo doesn't have this problem. You'll never see Mario official on PC, Steam, or ever.
Yeah. Yeah.
I have to sail the high seas before that shit happens.
Yeah, at least they're sticking to their guns, man. Nintendo with that, because we are getting Master Chief on PlayStation, Gears of War on PlayStation. Like I'm not an Xbox fan, but Master Chief and Gears of War on PlayStation just seems weird and blasphemous.
Well, it would 15 years ago, but today consoles are just wannabe PCs at this point. And as shitty as the stuff is going on with the Nintendo Switch, it's still technically a console. It's more of I'll say it's more of a console than PlayStation 5 or Xbox. Switch 2, but as far as like their brand being their own and they don't have to share it, you have to give them props there because they've stayed the course all this time from the very beginning of gaming's growth and birth to today. Nintendo is Nintendo, and no amount of pushing or shoving is going to get them to put their content on another platform.
Yeah.
So like I said, and with PC being pretty much the interim for like everything to go through now because of how much consoles have failed, that's why it's the preferred platform. Why get a console if it's going to come to PC where I have more control over its potential cost? I could get a CD key and get the game for cheaper. I can affect the game's performance or visuals. I can mod it. It's just like getting anything on a console just sounds stupid. If assuming you just don't have access to a PC for whatever reason. But if you care about gaming's integrity or value, get a PC. But
Well, I have I took that advice from you all and got me a PC.
Yep. The best purchase you've ever made. Look how much money you saved and spent.
That is true. Saving too much money.
Yeah. to the point where it's a problem now.
Yeah, to where it's a problem where like, man, I can buy 5 games today. tomorrow about 10.
Yeah, Azure Phoenix. I have a PS5. It's the only console I've ever regretted buying. Well, at least you didn't buy an Xbox. I think you would regret that one significantly more if you got an Xbone or a Series X. They name these things so stupid. I don't know what. But as far as Stellar Blade, I'm not head over heels for this game, but I do like it. I like looking at it, and who doesn't like some eye candy? I'll pay for some eye candy. Sure, why not? Fuck it. I mean, I buy costumes for Marvel Rivals. Sure, why not?
So the thing that I like about Stellar Blade the most is that it gets back to kind of how games used to be and how they used to look. It's a throwback to that. And I'm glad to see, developers like this. Of course, they're in a different country that kind of goes against the grain of what Western ideology kind of says you have to do or have to be. They don't fit in that box. So I'm glad to see games like this just stand against what's not normal or what people want to say you can't do.
Yeah, it does kind of harken back the games were made for their specific audience instead of being made for everybody.
Yeah.
And yeah, you're right. Like that's one aspect about it that it's kind of like the driving force behind me, wanting to pay money, buy it, and support it. Because we don't get games like this anymore or that often, especially in today's culture where the whole feminine influence is to bitch about anything that men like, and that's a whole another aspect about gaming that we need to get into, especially now that culturally there's an opportunity to like push this shit back and kill it outright. That's why I want to get a little bit more aggressive with videos and content, because we're in a pretty decent position to really, really kind of bring gaming back to where it belongs for the boys.
I agree. 100.
So when it comes to Stellar Blade or where is the First Descendant, right here, the First Descendant, and it's a game that it's a Gooner game, but that's okay. I like Gooner games.
Nier is like the poster girl for the Gooner.
Yeah,
she's in everything, bro.
She's also in Grand Blue.
Yeah, she is in Grand Blue. Like for real. Like she's been in like damn near everything, and I love it. I love it.
Oh, let me add a banner right here. There we go. Bam. So we're gonna look at this little clip right here of the First Descendant, because they're having they have a expansion coming out.
Okay, let's check it out. Might need to move our pictures so we can see. Oh snap!
I'll replay it in case you guys missed all that very important.
I missed it. Oh yeah, there we go. Who designed this trailer?
Somebody from Korea, South Korea. Same people that released Stellar Blade. I don't know if it's the same company, but it's from the same country. So yeah, that's still not Stellar Blade, but another Gooner game, and I think that's good. I like seeing games for people that like these types of games getting what they want, getting their representation, since we care about representation so much. So I think it's good. Like, because back then there was like each game, gamers had their category and they went where they belong. If you like this shit, go over there and enjoy that shit without having to be persecuted for appreciating another person's very high skill in design, philosophy, and attention to detail. You know, we used to be able to do that, and we're gonna get back to that. We're gonna get that back. So Gooners rejoice.
Yeah, I love how you explain that in a very nice way.
Yeah, like it's about getting back to focusing on what's important. You know, like we have a lot of distractions in gaming, but this isn't about well, part of it is about it, but this isn't about being distracted and doom scrolling and constantly being inundated with negativity from all these malefactors within our hobby, because the goal should be to purge them out. Get gaming for gamers. Gaming is for the boys. That's it. That's all she wrote because she's not here. Somewhere a blue-haired Karen is seething at that trailer. Yeah, because that that 3D model is getting more attention than she ever will. And you know, there's a lot of cultural stuff that we need to work on, but gaming is pretty much our main domain where we put most of our effort into. That's where the fight should be held.
Yeah, so. I agree. Yeah, man, that was a cool trailer.
Yep, it showed all the things I cared about. But yep, I think it's a pretty short show. Didn't want to go on for too long. There's a few things I might want to hop on some video games. Might stream a little bit today. But what do you have any thoughts you want to add to today's topics there?
Well, I would say that I'm glad to see the Immortal Afro back at it again, and you know, I think with you kind of pushing out more positive things and for the people is going to be good. It's going to be a good thing, and I'm loving this whole thing, getting back to what's important. So
yeah,
I'm happy about that.
Yep, yeah, I definitely want to be aggressive with maintaining our sanctity in gaming, getting back to what's important, making games niche again. And I think it's going to be. I have really high hopes for the future. I'm feeling very confident, and we're seeing a lot of good stuff happen. But we need to maintain that momentum, keep that energy strong, and try not to get sidetracked with the usual bullshit, because there's a lot of bullshit, but I do think there is probably significantly more good stuff. There's more positive information that could use our eyes and ears and attention, like The First Descendant, Stellar Blade, Grand Blue Fantasy versus Rising, Raven's Watch, Gunfire Reborn. There are so many good games that there's no reason. Like, yeah, cover the bad stuff, but laugh at it. But make sure you make your way back over to the good stuff so you can enjoy your time gaming. Gaming is supposed to be a good time, not a bad time. So, also, same thing with the reviews. Get back on some reviews. Stay on top of that.
I agree 100%.
But if there's anything else, young people, old people alike, me and Herb are old now. Birthday's coming up pretty soon.
Uh-oh. When is your birthday?
July 25th.
Oh, snap.
Well, gonna go to bed. But anyways, folks, your Immortal Afro Josh, you are watching Gaming for the Boys. Here with my co-host, H3 The Game. And anything you want to plug your information?
Yeah, you can find me on YouTube at H3 The Game. You can find me on Twitch at H3 The Game, and on Twitter /X at H3 The Game. Appreciate you guys for tuning in. And shoot, hey, I'm glad to be back on this show. Let's go.
Man. You've been holding it down for a while.
Try, man. Try.
It's tough, I know. Let me show your YouTube channel for a bit. See, got it right here. H3 The Game, the host of the H3 The Game podcast. He has a lot. If you look here under his live, he's been posting a lot of lives that I've been joining him on. So check up on that backlog. I'll have to make sure I add you in the Discord too. People know when you're live.
All right.
But Gaseous Clay, good stream. Take it easy. Appreciate it, man. Thank you. Folks, that'll do it for today. I am your Immortal Afro Josh. You are watching Immortal Afro Gaming's Gaming for the Boys. And I'll see you on the next one. Till next time. Peace.